Show me a solution. What that wasn't a solution. Right, the game tells they were somewhere like around Farmer's Coast. What are you? What is this place?
Why are you here? Be gone, Phantom. Be gone and leave me to my slumber.
Phantom? What are you talking about? What's the meaning of this?
Then this isn't a dream. You really are here. But why? The Prophet dies when the Emperor leaves him. This is the course of the game. It has always been so. Explain yourself. How did you find this place? And why do you still exist?
The old woman, she helped me and opened the portal.
Her? But why? She does not have a mind. She does not have feelings. So why should she do this? But
I don't know.
Still you speak the truth. I can feel it. Then could it really be that the unlikeliest of all eventualities has become reality and brought you here?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Who are you? What are you?
I am sorry. It's been too long since I've spoken to anyone. I have had many names. The Arcarians called me the God of Death, the Moonskin people, the Warden of Dreams, the Pyreans, and the Demon of the Deep. For your people I am, or was, the Black Guardian.
Oh my.
Pompous names, I know. However, I am none of these, neither god nor demon. I am only an eye, condemned to observe again and again.
The Marines, by the gods, how old are you?
As you measure time, older than your most daring chronicles go back, by far. I have seen them all, since our people fell. Every civilization, every cleansing, every turn of the cycle.
These songs about the cleansing of your civilization. Are you one of the ancient starlings?
What? No. The starlings came long after me. I was only a fool who wanted to save his own skin at any cost. I knew the cleansing would come. I had known it long before the Red Madness and the war started. But I also knew that fighting it as my people did, and as most do, was pointless. So I looked for another way to prevail. And I found it. What you see here is the result. The Goliath. As I like to call it back then.
So, did your plan work? You built this machine, became it, and survived the cleansing?
As the only one of my people, yes. But it happened faster than it should have. And when the cleansing occurred, the Goliath was not yet finished. And as the Emperor unleashed the light, I had no choice but to complete the joining too early. A fatal error, as it turned out. I did survive, yes. But I am trapped inside this unfinished machine. And ever since then, all I can do is watch. Again and again.
Right, so to be clear, you've been insisting that Highwands devoured your people.
Yes. It was not how I planned it. The Goliath in its final form was meant to be divine. A synthesis of man and steel. But I overestimated myself. And I acted too quickly, driven by fear.
Right, so we haven't lost yet. Whether Highwands triumph or not depends on what happens after Amphios blown up the beacon.
No, you do not understand. You are stumbling through the fog, even now that it is almost over. By themselves, the Highwands are not the problem. If we would just see them as they really are, they would become powerless.
Powerless?
Yes. It is hard to put into words. I myself do not know everything about the High Ones. Only that they are part of something we call the cycle. The civilization arises and blossoms and then, always at the same stage of their development, the High Ones appear, and with them, the Red Madness. People start losing their minds, wars erupt and chaos rules. Until 2 or 3 years later, the cleansing happens. The moment when the High Ones devour the collective consciousness, the gathered minds of this civilization, to give birth to a new one of their own. Despite all of this, nobody knows what drives them. Perhaps they act out of malice, out of an urge to survive, or perhaps they do not even have a will of their own, but are like a force of nature. But I do know one thing, as powerful as they might be, it is mankind who gives them that power. We make them into what they are, because what nobody understands is simply this. The High Ones feed on what humanity has the most of, their ego, greed, pride, fear, and their everlasting search for an enemy who is responsible for all their misery. It is those traits the High Ones make use of. These characteristics are what make us human. And by themselves, they are harmless. Only when we bury them, when we deny them, then they play into the High One's hands. So why is this, you ask? It is simple. The High Ones alone cannot make the cleansing happen. Only a human can. With the beacon, my knowledge about it is as limited as my knowledge about the cycle. It has existed since the beginning of time, and despite what you might now believe, the ancient writings about it are true. Lit by the ones who carry the Numenos, it can banish the High Ones once and for all. But it can also destroy us. Because what happens when it is lit without a core is far more than an explosion. It is the cleansing, the triumph of the High Ones. And even as we speak, a human, Tealor Orinthiol, has done it again. A bright light will appear from the heart of the machine and open a hole in the sky. And within hours, it will spread throughout the world, and they will all feel it. A fire that burns them from within. A white light which will break through their flesh. Do you understand now? Highlands have no power. All they do is to feed on our weaknesses, manipulate us into bringing about our own destruction. It is we who forge the sword that kills us, we who lead them to their victory, even though the key to salvation has always been in our hands. But instead of realizing our folly, we make the same mistake. We repeat the same fate over and over, and only because we refuse to see the truth. Yes, the High Ones are our enemy, but who wants to hear that it is our ego, that dark voice within us, that empowers them? It is so ironic. The moment we would realize all this would be the moment it all came to an end. But we do not. They reap, we sow. Dreams, thoughts, visions, they are everywhere, but the principle is always the same. They throw a tainted seed into a fertile ground. The rest happens by itself.
Damn. I'm waiting for more now. Hello? So you're saying that without our assistance, the High Ones will be powerless? Do you think nothing would ever happen?
Just think for a moment. When did the High Ones ever do anything other than manipulate you? Did they ever physically influence any events? They incited the Naramis to march against you, and time and again confirmed the righteousness of both your causes. All they told you, all they showed you, was what you wanted to hear, and what you wanted to see. And yes, if you, Tealor Rentheal, his order, and the Naramis had never acted, the cleansing would never have happened.
What? And there's no reason, there's really no reason for all this? I can't believe it.
Maybe there is, but if so, I do not know it. But the more turns of the cycle I witness, the more I get the impression that it is some kind of trial. A cosmic game, woven by powers we have not even come close to comprehending. Maybe this is just wishful thinking, to give all this pain a meaning, when it does not have one. Maybe the High Ones are simply a law of nature, a concept, and we give birth to them by believing there is such a thing as an ultimate external enemy in the first place. The eternal struggle with ourselves. Perhaps that is just part of what it means to exist.
So then that means Enfield just initiated the cleansing. He has signed the death warrant of all of humanity.
Like 1,000 others before him, the High Ones knew exactly what they had to do to get him to commit this last act of desperation. They played him with his weaknesses and fears, like a figure on a chessboard. And the saddest part is that until the very end, he will believe that he has done something good.
Because he won't accept failure, no matter the price.
That was his greatest fear, yes. to be remembered as a failure, a broken man. That was the stream the High Ones manipulated him from the moment he died, after attempting to flee from his prison on Nehrim.
The moment he died? What do you mean?
The real Orynthiol. He is dead, Prophet. He is a fleshless one of the mightiest tools of the High Ones. Just as you are.
I am dead? Then what is this? An illusion?
I wish it were. The methods of how the High Ones influence us are plentiful, and the Red Madness and their ability to enter our dreams are not their only means. Their mightiest tool is the creation of projections, fleshless ones, or emissaries, as they are also called. If a person dies, and if this person has one last unfulfilled wish, a compulsion, then the High Ones have the power to create a projection of him, an immaterial image of the deceased, which thinks itself real and is perceived as such. What no one notices, not even the projection itself, are two things. Firstly, it is driven by this last unfulfilled desire. Secondly, it becomes an idealized version of its former self, almost tailor-made to free itself from the last compulsion, that ultimate scourge. The daughters of fishermen become warriors. Broken generals become charismatic and driven leaders who seem almost too determined to be real. You are one of these projections, as are all of the emissaries. You are a fleshless one, a spirit searching for liberation from something. I do not know your past before you came to this land, because before you became the Prophet, you were insignificant. But what happened to you and your friend on that ship? You never survived it. You drowned in the Red Sea, and in that very moment, the High Ones entered your mind and made you into what you are today. And other than myself, the High Ones knew your compulsion, knew the desire that drove you. Whatever it was, it made you predictable, and it allowed them to play you, just as they played Orynthiol and Korak. Do you see it now? Every dream the High Ones sent you, every time they appeared to you, they all had but a single purpose: to feed your self-image, to push you in a certain direction. They wanted you to play the game for their purposes, and they succeeded. You read the echo of the future, as other prophets did before you. You helped Orynthiol reconstruct the beacon, and led him to the Numinos. When he saw that it would be taken away from him at the very last instant, his fear of failure led him into doing what he did.
That means I'm responsible. I cast the cleansing.
You are not to blame, Prophet. You did what countless others did before you, and you did it because you thought it was the right thing to do. Only one thing is different. In all the time I have been here, never before did a projection realize its own nature. You were meant to dissolve like the rest of mankind. Yet, here you stand, and I tell you the truth. This was never meant to happen.
But it means that the beacon was a trap set by the High Ones from the very beginning.
No, it is as I said. For as long as the cycle has existed, so has the beacon. It is an element of the game, and it has the power to end it, whether in favor of the High Ones or in favor of mankind. Yet for as long as I have been trapped here, the latter has never happened.
So the High Ones want to reconstruct the beacon. They made me do it.
They gave you impulses, nudges in the right direction. Those who know a person's past know which strings to pull.
What about the Asian Starlings? They managed to fully recycle, didn't they? How?
The Starlings, in their time, were called the Yalam Rashe. And yes, they manipulated the game in their favor. Their goals were similar to mine when I created the Goliath. They were a small circle of highly intelligent craftsmen and mages. And just like myself, they did not think the cycle could be won by the beacon alone. So by unknown means, they fled into the sky and created something that protected their city from the cleansing.
What happened to them? Are they really the ancestors of the Starlings?
Yes, but knowledge about their history is sparse, since the Star City was almost beyond the reach of my eye. But I know that its first centuries were glorious. The Yalam Rashe lived in harmony, and their society was the pinnacle of all that mankind could be. With time, however, their population grew. They became too numerous for their small city, and so they invented their golden rules, which were supposed to control their growth. Having children was regulated now, and those who were found guilty of a crime were punished heavily. The worst sentence was being exiled. The convicted were robbed of their memories and sent back to Earth. This is where the Starlings of your world come from, do you see? And this is why they all feel this longing to return to a far distant place in the stars. It is an ancestral memory.
That explains a lot. But what happened to them? Why was the city deserted?
I do not know. As I said, my knowledge about the Starlings was always limited. All I do know is that one day they were gone. I could not feel them anymore. By that time, their society had become but a shadow of what it once was. But whether they destroyed themselves or left for someplace else, I will never find out.
In all honesty, this is ridiculous. Have you ever listened to yourself?
Oh, believe me, I have. I've done nothing else for a very, very long time. But it is true, whether you want to believe it or not. In time, you would have noticed it. The wrinkles in your skin would not have become any deeper, nor your hair any whiter. And if the cleansing were to be stopped, you would continue to exist forever. What reason would I have to lie to you?
Maybe there is a reason for all of this. Maybe we can still stop the cleansing.
Oh, stop it. No, it is too late for that.
Killer and feel.
By the name of the sun, it is so ironic that the veiled woman did not lead you here earlier. It is over, Prophet. You are strong, but regardless of how long your power can protect you from the light of the cleansing, eventually you will dissolve too, even if Wait. No. Maybe. Maybe you are right. Maybe there is a way.
What way?
But no. It would be pointless.
Like, what would be pointless? Why?
Forgive me, I have to think.
We don't have time for that, you fuck.
Yes. There could be a way. What I told you is true. Here on Earth, you would not survive the cleansing. But there is one place where you could. The Star City. I know that you brought something back from your journey there. The escape pods. And I know that they can also take you back there. For I have seen the Yalam Rashe, the ancient starlings, do so. Whatever has protected the city over all these millennia, it would protect you too. Yes, you could survive it. By the face of time, you could.
You want to flee, but to what end? They would have to stop the cleansing.
No, it would not. But that is irrelevant. You are fleshless, a projection. And just like me, time cannot touch you. Age cannot kill you. And thus you could succeed where I have failed. You could wait for the cleansing to be over. And then create a new humanity.
On my own. Do what?
Create a new humanity. It is only a matter of time until the new turn of the cycle starts. New life will come forth. First, simple life, then human. And just like the civilizations before them, they will also fall victim to the High Ones, because they will have the same weaknesses as we do. But not with your help. You could be a god to them. You could guide their ascent. You could shape a mankind free of egos and weaknesses. And by doing so, you would deprive the High Ones of their power. Just imagine, in this new world, there would be no need for a beacon, because the High Ones simply would not have any strings to pull on. Mankind will defeat them by becoming superior.
Looks like it makes you believe I was over in Star City. That means I've already tried to kill us.
Yes, because that old starling did harm to the city by trying to destroy a crystal. That awoke the Guardians. But they are asleep now. I can feel it. You would be safe. Believe me.
Still, that would mean leaving mankind to die.
No, they are already dead, damn it. Orinthiel has lit the beacon. And unlike anything else you could do right now, this would be a chance for permanent change. By the face of time, do not let all of this become meaningless. Every second you waste.
Thank you for the lurk, Kaden. Let me give you a shout out. Mankind of ego. What is this supposed to mean?
The High Ones reap, we sow. It is our weakness that make the High Ones strong. Our ongoing fragility. And if not for that, the High Ones would be powerless. You could be the one to create a humanity like that. Altruism instead of greed. Self-responsibility instead of the continuous search for an enemy. Awareness instead of blindness.
What makes you believe I could do that? The Labyrinth tried to do the same thing, and they failed.
The Lightborn tried to force their ideals onto an already rotten people. Just like the Pyrean Sun Priest and the countless false deities before them. You cannot save a tree whose roots have already withered. But with you as a deity to lead this new mankind, it would be entirely different. You could completely change what it means to be human. And would it not be presumptuous to rob the world of this chance? Simply because you are afraid of failing? Believe me, I would give a lot for this chance.
Oh, God. But honestly, this is wrong. I can't let others people die. There has to be another way. You hinted at something.
Yes. I regret that I did. Please, right now, you have the chance to break a millennial-old pattern. Do not let it go to waste. I beg you.
I'll make a decision once you've told me all of my options.
You are so stubborn. But, well, you might be able to destroy the beacon itself. The light, it consumes everyone who gets too close to it. But you, as a projection, you might be able to do it. It will not stop what the beacon has already done, but it will interrupt it. However, it would mean your death. Yours and that of all life in Enderal. It is too late to save them now. And even if you succeed, it changes nothing. Yes, Korik would be dead. But do you think the High Ones would just give up? They would retreat for a few years. Decades, maybe. No more. And then it would all happen again, until another emissary lights the beacon. Trust me, I know humans far better than I would like to. Within a few years you would be forgotten, and they would win, as they always do.
Not if someone would tell them everything that you told me. Not if someone could flee.
And who would that be? Even if there were someone, do you think anyone would listen? If he were to tell them that humanity itself is to blame, that the ultimate enemy does not even exist.
It would be worth a try.
You are delaying the inevitable, nothing more. And you are throwing away a chance which we might never have again.
I don't like it, but you're probably right. Maybe we could make a new beginning and make it turn out differently.
It means a lot to me to...
Let's sacrifice the whole of humanity.
What is important now is that we act quickly. The cleansing is already happening, and you will not have much time left to flee. You must go through the portal and then back to the temple. Then you have to activate the pods, and the rest will happen automatically. When all this is over, I will try to reach out to you.
One more thing. You said that you could really see what happens in the world. What about Kalaya? Is she dead?
She is. I'm sorry, but this is one more reason why you have to do the right thing.
Fuck.
Please, make her death matter.
Then this is it. I'll try to get back to the temple.
Yes, and hurry. You will feel the light as soon as you are back on the surface. And given time, it will consume you. But you will succeed. I feel it. There is one more thing I need to ask of you, however. One final request. down.
Shoot you down? You mean kill you?
Yes. I want to finally rest. Please do not try to convince me to do otherwise. All that. I do not want to be a part of it any longer. I have not wanted to for a long, long time. Please, do it. The switch is in front of you. That was how I connected myself to the Goliath. It will cut the connection as well. Do it, and then go. Go and fulfill your fate.
Quick saving.
Thank you. Forgive me. The two of us will now exchange places. I am sorry for the deception. And if there were another way, I would not do this. Even though you made the right choice, you are too naive to become a true god. What do you know? What have you seen? You are but a toddler in the face of time. I, however, know mankind better than anyone else, and I deserve it. Once this is all over, I will send someone to free you from the Goliath. But until then...
Over here, Sayira, quickly!
Goliath.
By the name of the sun, are you alright? I was so worried when...
Miserable fool! I would have kept my word, but if you want to play games, fine! I have had enough time to practice!
Oh, Kiraj.
Defeat the Black Guardian. But I don't have the health for this.
You are not fit to become a god!
That doesn't look good. Oh, Kiraj.
You are not fit to become a god!
That doesn't look good. Get away from the ruins!
See, what have you achieved?
God.
I deserve this!
Oh, Kiraj.
I really have nowhere to go.
We could have built a better world together, but you've thrown it all away.
Oh, Kiraj.
Oh, of course. He starts instantly with a bow and he instantly shoots me down.
You damn... You are not fit to become a...
So the issue that I'm having here is the fact that I didn't heal before this entire fight.
You are not
damn it, not
fit to
again.
become a
Don't
god!
let that glowing thing reach
never
you.
were! What have you seen? What have you achieved?
Pick yourself
I
up.
deserve
You need to
this.
deal with these things first.
Yes, and for that, I need to make sure I don't get killed.
That doesn't look good. Get away from the room.
I quick save just before that.
That doesn't look good. Get
Oh
away
my
from the room.
fucking god. Yeah, the issue is.
That doesn't look good. Get away from the room.
Oh my, okay. So he places down the ruin, like the runes. I have to instantly sprint forward.
That doesn't look good. Get away from the rooms. Focus. Focus.
Okay, run away from them as far as you can.
That doesn't look good. Get away from the rooms.
My quick save here. So we're standing right now. What is happening here? I'm actually using one of my perks here.
Get away from its face now.
Okay, so what my plan was to not
Not again. Get away from the rooms.
God damn it. If we can deal with these little cunts.
Not again. Get away from the rooms.
Okay, quick save.
Not again. Get away from the rooms.
Hello. I have a little bit more health now. Why?
Not again. Get away from the rooms. What are you doing? You'll get yourself killed. We need to deal with these things first. For the name of the sun, get away from the creature quickly. Not again. Get away from the rooms. The shields are down. The generators now.
Oh, come on.
Not again. Get away from the rooms. Oh. Not again. Get away from the rooms.
Yeah, so my health is slowly going up just because of one singular reason. The fact that having a two-handed weapon...
Get away from the rooms.
Fuck. Having a two-handed weapon in my hands just gives me HP. It is one of the strongest freaking bursts that I have. Come on.
We need to deal with these things first.
Well, yeah, if they would actually show up for once again. Thanks.
Away from the machine now. Get away from its face now!
So how many steps have we taken so far? Like, my health is almost completely up again.
Get away from its face now!
Oh, hello.
Now, attack the generators!
Didn't even notice him there.
Not again! Get away from the runes! Away from the machine now! Away from the machine now!
I think he killed the one who was in there.
The shields are down! The generators now!
No! What have you done?
Achievement cut. The Black Guardian.
I suppose the explanations will have to wait.
I will tell you on the way back, as best as I can. But right now, we need to head back to the temple. The cleansing, it is happening right now.
I had a feeling that might be the case. Go on ahead. I will follow.
Apparently we'll automatically travel. Good.
I have a single flash. This line didn't even try to help me find Raptr tactics. I was lucky to find another way in, as I didn't even here. And you are...
What is it?
My head, it feels as if it's on fire.
The cleansing.
This must be the cleansing. If this is how it feels down here, then fate have mercy on those who are on the surface. Don't you feel anything?
Finally, it's dull somehow.
Then the Black Guardian was right, wasn't he? What you are, your fleshlessness, it protects you. Kirash, I just don't understand. You are here, standing right before me, and I can see you. How is that possible? Could you really be an illusion?
I don't know, but it's the truth. It all makes sense now. What the agent said about me and my corpse in the living temple.
I suppose so. So, what now? Your decision, is it final?
I don't know. What would you do?
What would I do? I don't know, Saira. Just thinking about a question like this is so bizarre. But if I were in your position, I don't think I could just flee. I mean, look at it however you want, but the fact is that there would be a chance to save at least some of these people by destroying the beacon. Not taking that opportunity would be sentencing millions to death. But still, regardless of what you decide, I will accept it. I will accompany you to the Star City, or I will try to flee from the explosion.
Do you think you can make it out to the blast radius of the beacon? To tell the others that you're about to cycle?
I don't know, but there is a secret passage into the South Quarter. If I can reach the Myriad there, I might be able to flee to one of the islands. I think I can make it, somehow.
The Red Guardian was right. We have to flee. If we were able to save the ones who are not already dead, they would only repeat our fate.
I understand. Then, in a few hours' time, the two of us will be the only survivors of mankind. That sounds so unreal. You have to prepare the escape pods. I will wait for your signal. Then we must move quickly. Even down here, this burning gets worse by the minute. I can't imagine how it will be that close to the beacon. Be careful, Saira. We can't afford any mistakes.
Completed. Flashless. So teleport to the Sun Temple. But it's only... Jeez, that was bright. Wait, what? Not again. I'll have to run. Fire. Okay, so we woke up here. Nothing down, nothing there, so we just move here. Oh, no, we can just fly sitting there.
Hey,
What happened? How did we get here?
I don't know. When I woke up, we were here. You were still unconscious, so I thought it would be wise to let you rest a little. Just look at that. From here, it all seems so peaceful, untouched, as if all that has happened was nothing but a bad dream. I guess, as far as the world is concerned, it doesn't make a difference whether we live or die.
Maybe not. So what now?
Now it's up to us.
But you interrupt a better world. Right, credit roll. I quite like to actually keep the original Skyrim credits in here as well. Alright, that's it. Thank you very much for playing Enderal. Your experience while playing, which you hopefully enjoyed, were the little years of hard work. If you'd like to help us financially, be sure to visit surai.net for information. If you can't or don't, it's fine. If you like the Enderal story, you can also take liking to Dreams of Dying. You hope to written by a writer, Nicholas. You can find it on Steam. Sure. May his light guide you. Sure I. Damn. Well, so thank you very much for watching. This is the end of Enderal. The end of the series. I can't believe that after like 80 episodes, I think like 83 is something that we have right now, because this... I loved it. Like, sure, there were moments where the game got to me a little bit. Also, I will be... I said the chat at least is visible. I did enjoy it. There were moments where like the game scared me a little bit, but it's more because of like how I am personally. Like for instance, like the cleansing and such. Like I don't know what to think about that. Like IRL, it would scare me to shit. Is there one like that ever actually existed? It was good. Like I definitely enjoyed it. Like I would like if I didn't enjoy this, I wouldn't have made this like 80 plus episodes. Damn. And then thank you very much for watching. This is the end of Enderal. Yeah. Yeah, Skyrim story-wise is a bit questionable sometimes. But this goes so deep and it actually touches you so much. Even at things like that could literally scare you as a human being. Like the eternal question, like what happens when you die? Things like that. And like that is something that actually came up to me quite a couple of times during this, especially when they were talking about the cleansing. Like that, like things like that actually scare me from within, and that is like that makes the story like also like such an impact. God damn. I mean, funnily enough, I will go through it again for achievements eventually. And like, I don't even know, like, I don't know when it's going to be. That could be relatively soon, it could be like in a year or something. I probably won't do the achievement run on stream because I have no clue on how I'm going to do some of the achievements now. Because I'll probably have to restart the game a couple of times. And there's like a lot of searching up, and I'd much rather just don't do that on stream. If I have like a page like where I can find everything in one go, sure, I can do it on stream. But you also see me have to redo a couple of things like every now and again. Like the Black Stones, for instance. There's one achievement. No, actually, I've missed like a couple of achievements, like with like the Black Stone from that kid. Because you need to get the full story of Silver, like the Silver Town. You need to play his first mini game, like fully. You need to get like, you need to like beat him. Like you need to beat it like every time, like 3 times if it is at some point. There are literally a couple of achievements like surrounding him, and like having to go like doing things with him. So which is like why I save every hour or so. I save every end of the episode for one reason, so that I can so that I can get back to it for achievements. That's my only reason for saving after every episode. Otherwise, I would not really have to save every episode, otherwise I would just save over every episode. But this way, it's just way easier. Anyway, have a good one, and we'll see you all during the next time. Good day!